here on We Live to Survive YouTube channel. Today, here with my boy Big Ed. We'll do a little bit of interview with him. That way you guys can get to know him a little bit. I know you guys still don't know me very well, but that will come later. So, if you guys are wanting to follow us, you can go on Instagram at We Live to Survive. Check out the website www.welivetosurvive.com, or you can check out the YouTube channel at We Live to Survive. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and transition over to Mr. Eddie here. Alright, Eddie, I met him, last November, I think. It's been probably about a year.
It's been a while.
Okay, so met him in the gym, of all places. Alright, a couple gym rats, met up in the gym. Realized that, we were both competitors. We had a bunch of stuff in common as far as the gym, competing, the lifestyle, stuff like that. Just to fast forward a little bit, we recently decided to reintroduce the clothing line back that I started last year. So that's going to be coming up. We decided to launch our website, welivetosurvive.com. And the Instagram's always been there. So he's basically, we're business partners, co-founder, and, this is kind of where our journey is going to officially begin. But, Eddie, why don't you go ahead and tell these guys a little bit about yourself real quick, man.
All right, Eddie, a.k.a. Big Ed. Well, I am a family man, father of four, hopefully considered a good husband, and competitive bodybuilder and posing coach. Me and Jason met up approximately a year ago. He asked me if I competed. We tried to bounce a few ideas back and forth and found that we were of similar mindset, similar ideas on diet and nutrition and importance of posing. So we started to collaborate, and here we are.
Okay. So you talk about the competing, the posing, stuff like that. So that obviously means that you're somewhat of a gym rat.
Somewhat.
What caused you to originally step foot into a gym and not just lift weights every day, but what caused you to say, hey, you know what? I think this is the path that I want to take, and I'm going to take this just a little bit more serious than the average daily guy in the gym.
To be honest with you, I always wanted to look like a bodybuilder. I remember being very, very young and walking by, I believe it was called Prime Cut Fitness on North Tower in Australia. And I seen the dudes in there, and they're, in the striped singlets and the wrestling boots and the fanny packs. And man, they looked like the Ultimate Warrior or something, you know what I mean? And, even as a kid watching wrestling, I always had an affinity for the more muscular competitor. I always felt like he should have won. And so, I wanted to go that route myself. Frank Zane was one of my earlier on inspirations. I liked his posing. I always thought posing was a big part of it. I just didn't know how long it was going to take me to get here. I thought I was going to get there with push-ups and sit-ups.
Yeah. So that's kind of what got you started. What made you decide to actually want to step on the stage and be judged for how you look, compete against all the other guys that are trying to do this? What made you decide to want to take it even a step further and actually, step on a stage?
You ready for me to sound cliche as hell?
Hey.
Pumping iron, bro. Pumping iron, but not for Arnold. Not for Arnold. I identified with Louis.
Okay.
I wanted him to win.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And, I had been told my genetics weren't that good. I'd never be big. I'd never have calves, which I do. And I just wanted to prove everyone wrong, for everyone that said I couldn't do it.
Okay.
And then, in fact, my first goal was just not to take last place and to shut them all up. And I ended up placing 6th out of 15 guys.
Not too bad.
And man, it was the feeling I got on that stage it's undescribable. Nothing else compares to it. Like, you put in all those months of work, you know what I mean, the dedication, the suffering, you know, day in, day out, constantly it's a chore. And then, you know, for the 60 seconds you're up there, you know what I mean, it's all worth it. And you hear the crowd's reaction to your poses, and you know that's for you. Like, the feeling is, it's
So you
indescribable.
started out as, when you did your first competition, what division? I mean, were you men's
Oh,
physique,
I wanted to do
bodybuilding?
bodybuilding, but
Okay.
I didn't know how, so I
Okay.
sought out the local bodybuilders.
Okay.
Honestly, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing most of the time either. So I got mind fucked.
Yeah.
I ran into a men's physique competitor, Brandon. I don't know how to say his last name, but
The 6'4" Greek physique.
Yeah, that guy.
Brandon.
I asked him about diet and nutrition, and he told me to get a coach. Yeah, he was just getting done with getting the Emerald Cup, so
Yeah.
I figured, Webb, probably listen to him, you know what I mean? Nobody else is actually competing. So I went to the only, like, bodybuilder chick that was at our gym, you know, a lady named Melissa over at Thorbeck's. And she told me, I really can't help you, but Joanna Wilson over at Anytime Fitness can. I met Joanna instantly, best friends, you know what I mean? I actually, towards the end, was calling her mom.
She was like the token gym mom.
And, you know, she really taught me the importance of nutrition, and I guess got me over trying to be under 10% body fat all year long.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yep.
It really made a difference.
So, I mean, you started out, you know, men's physique. How many years ago was that, Eddie, when you first stepped on stage?
2014 at the Northwest Classic in Shelton.
Okay, so a couple years ago, leading up to almost 3 years ago. So this year, okay, and obviously this is the first year that the men's classic physique division has come out. What made you want to go into men's classic physique versus bodybuilding? So, I mean, you kind of had that original, like, you know, deer in the headlights look when you saw the massive bodybuilders. Like, what made you want to go more towards the classic side versus being just a massive beast?
Well, I'm far from stupid. Man, if you name an article, you name a bodybuilder, you know, I've read up on them. You know, always trying to better educate myself, and you know, you see how overwhelmingly big those guys are.
Yeah.
You know, case in point, Steve Thayer and I weigh the same. You know, he's 230, I'm 236. But do our physiques look the same?
Yeah.
Not even close. And I knew if I couldn't hang with Steve, and Steve was getting outsized in some of his shows, that I wasn't ready for that. But I wasn't really into the board shorts because there was no poses. And to me, posing is essential. It's an art form. It's, you know what I mean? If not for you to express yourself, it's for them, you know, the people who pay to come see you.
Exactly, I agree.
And I noticed that they put a lot of emphasis on the posing in that. And I liked, you know, that was of the mindset that I was, and still am. I enjoy the posing aspect very much. So I started looking at, you know, classic physiques, not the 70s, the more like Emilio Starshev and guys from the 90s who had a little more size, but you know what I mean, their flow was impeccable.
So kind of like that they refer to as like the golden era time period.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
More, you know, more the Adonis than the Herculean.
Yeah.
And I felt like I fit great. You know, I felt like I looked like a freaking Lee Labrada next to some of the guys. But they didn't reward my not being as big as everyone. So back to the drawing board, I guess.
Okay. So I mean, do you? I mean, at this particular point, I mean, would you stay in classic physique, or would you want to bump it up a step further? And
I'm in the process right now of trying to bump it up.
Okay.
Once again, fanboy stuff. I'm a big fan of Chris Cormier and Bob Harris, and they were both, I believe Chris Cormier at the 1993 Nationals was 228 pounds. Bob Harris somewhere around 226. So I figure I need I competed at my last show at 206.4. Figured if I do that and I'm ready to put the posing trunks on and see how it goes. If I don't work there, I know how to come back down. My body type, I can burn off this muscle easy. Just go back to a regular diet and do plenty of cardio.
So, I mean, as far as that, I mean, kind of shifting gears now, like, I mean, I'm going to go back to this comment, you know, because I got told the same thing as far as prep coaches, posing coaches, stuff like that. You know, a few years ago when I was preparing to step on stage, you know, I had a good buddy of mine that I was in the military with. You know, he is an IDD pro now, but he told me, he's like, you know, take a whole year and just build the foundation, build. And I did. Well, about halfway through that process, you know, I'm talking to other people. You know, this is when I lived in Texas. You know, competing is a little bit bigger down there than it is up here, I believe. You know, a lot of people were saying, hey, you know, you need to get a prep coach. You know, you need someone to write your meals out. You need a posing coach. You need all these different coaches. And as they're saying coach, I'm just seeing dollar signs. You know, and I even was looking into it and I almost went into a panic mode because I knew that there was no way in fucking hell I was going to be able to afford a coach. You know, and even making payments, like, I couldn't afford that shit. So I did what I believe you did and started just reading, researching, trial and error, just, you know, hey, take some time. This didn't work. I need to change it. You know, this did work. I'm going to keep that, put that away in the safe. I'm going to hold on to that. Like, you know, to anybody out there watching this that wants to potentially go down this road, you know, do you think it is absolutely essential to have all these different coaches? Now, I do believe, like, a lot of these pros, you know, they can obviously afford the coaching. They can afford that. I believe that when you reach a certain level, it's important to have that because it takes a lot of the stress away from what you're doing in your daily. But I also believe that even back then, if I would have gotten a coach, they would have been guessing just as much as I was. Versus now, if I were to get a coach, I could say, hey, this is everything that I've been doing. So it actually makes their workload a little bit easier because I've already put in all the hard part.
Well, coming from a point of actually coaching you for this last show, it wasn't really much that we needed to do. Maybe bounce a few ideas off each other. But like I said before, we were a similar mindset, came from kind of the same background, wanting to do this but not being able to afford it. So we searched and we found what worked.
Yeah.
You know, so coaching is not always essential. I didn't think you needed a coach, honestly. I mean, you're probably the easiest person that I've ever worked with.
So we just a couple weeks ago, I competed at the Northern Classic out in Tacoma, and I had this guy right here really help me with my posing. I'm one of those guys, I like to pose even in the off season. I like to pose at least a few times a week, you know, at least once a week, every week. You know, because I mean, that's always an area I believe that you can always grow in, you know. And when I came across Eddie and I saw, well, actually, when I saw his son pose, who's what, 10 years old?
10, yes, Tony said.
You're going to see him on this channel probably a lot, but his posing, like, it makes you question yourself as to whether or not you can actually do what you're supposed to be doing, because, I mean, it was very impressive. So, you know, and it's not just him, but, you know, obviously coming from Dad, like, you know, the posing is a very vital part of bodybuilding, whether you're a male or a female, or regardless of even if you're a bodybuilder versus men's physique, the baseline posing is bodybuilding. I mean, and, you know, so I had to go to this guy to fine tune, you know, what was already there. And I mean, what would you think? I mean, to me, I think posing is probably the most important aspect, because I mean, you spend all these months and weeks dieting and training, and I mean, what happens if you get on the stage and your posing looks like shit?
Then you won't place. It's like I said while we were going through all those weeks and months of preparation. You know what I mean? You can have the best physique in the world, but if you don't know how to display it and the judges can't see it, how can they judge it?
True.
You know what I mean? What they see is just as important, you know, is how you look. They need to see it. And if they can't, you won't win.
Very, very true. Well, guys, this has been a little bit of a deeper insight into Mr. Eddie here. You're obviously going to see him a lot more. Like I said, we are partnered up with our website, www.welifetosurvive.com. There's a clothing line that's going to be coming into that. There's also, real quick before I forget, there's some other bodybuilders that are a part of this as well. Okay, and two of them actually come from this guy right here. One of them is your brother, right? The other one is your son. And you got Mr. Franco, who's also, I mean, basically like family. You know, and I mean, why don't you tell me about these three guys real quick before we cut this out?
We'll go with Franco first. Franco was actually, I sought out him. He was about 125 pounds, soaking wet, just screaming his head off, deadlifting over 500 pounds. I had never seen...
And weighing how much?
125.
Beast.
I had never seen such a feat. And I noticed that he could squat over double his body weight, closer to 3 times. And I said, boy, man, that guy, you know, he knows something and I need to learn it. So I sought him out, and he taught me how to lift heavier with better form. And he liked the posing aspect and things. And so we kind of, you know, once again, another collaboration. Him with his powerlifting background and me with my knowledge of posing and dieting, we came together and made something stronger. Now, my brother, he just wanted to lose weight.
Yeah.
I remember when we first got into this, he hated Jay Cutler. He thought he was the biggest douche in the world.
No offense, Jay.
No offense, Jay. I love you, bro. I love you. Not 4-time Mr. Olympia for nothing. But you know what I mean? It took my brother a while to come around. He was more just into weight loss. But as he's seen how positive this can be and how much of an effect it made on my life, he really got into it. My sons, you know, Anthony and Johnny, and they've lived and breathed this for so many years.
Just real quick
now.
on Johnny, when I first saw that dude in the gym, okay, rolling with these guys, all right, their little wolf pack, like, I thought this dude was a grown-ass man. And he's how old?
17 years old.
He's 17 years old. Like, I thought he was, like, a full-blown, I mean, yeah, he's almost, you know, he's a man, but he's hanging around with grown-ass men in, like, their late 20s, 30s. Like, I thought he was already up to that level when he's still in high school.
He's got good genetics for sure, man. I mean, he's got wonderful structure. Poses with the best of them. I mean, can we say like Mexican Flex Wheeler? I mean, just amazing.
Johnny's actually, we are going to start, you to start seeing him a little bit more here sooner probably than anybody else. But all these guys, Johnny, Franco, Chris, those are all the guys that are incorporated into the We Live to Survive team. We're going to start off by actually kind of following Franco. I mean, we kind of are not Franco, well, Franco too, but Johnny, we kind of threw Johnny in last minute, and I actually approached him, you know, at their house and was like, hey, you know, you think you can prep down for this show in, what was it, 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, and 17 years old, high school student, rose to the challenge, and yep. So I'm going to start following him a little bit in his last few weeks of prep. We would have had more footage, but, you know, I just got done with the show and things have been a little bit busy, but we're going to step into his last few weeks of prep, see how he's doing. We're gonna film the show. Him and Franco are actually competing at this show, and so we have two of the We Live to Survive crew members that are gonna be competing. What is it? 4 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay, so these guys are 3 weeks out. It's almost showtime, and
I believe Franco's at 4% body fat and Johnny's at 6.
Yep. So hopefully, these guys are gonna do some good things. Top 5, but yeah, you're gonna be seeing everybody that we mentioned through the website, through their own Instagram, through the We Live to Survive Instagram. But we're also going to do interviews with each one of them like we do with Eddie here. And we may even get one of these guys to interview me. We'll see. But that's all we got today. Again, you guys can check us out on Instagram at WeLiveToSurvive.com or at We Live to Survive. The website is www.welivetosurvive.com. And don't know if we're going to do a Facebook page yet or not. We'll see. But till next time, you got anything to add?
Boom!
Oh, baby! That was cool, man.
Yeah, that worked out good.